Hello, friend. Hundreds of cheap raw hides worth just $20.00 each from the African savannah are transformed into luxury bags, selling for $30,000.00. This is the million-dollar industry secret almost no one ever sees. Stay until the very end, and you'll see why it's actually a bargain. The story begins with a single Impala antelope, an animal about the size of the white-tailed deer many Americans see in their own backyards. One mature Impala provides only 8 to 12 square feet of usable hide. A domestic steer, by contrast, delivers 50 to 60 square feet. That simple difference already makes Impala leather 6 times rarer before a single process has begun. The raw hide, taken straight from the range, carries a value of just $18 to $25 per square foot, less than a good steak dinner. Fewer than 80,000 such skins are legally harvested worldwide each year. Pause for a moment and consider. Everything that follows starts with material that costs less than a tank of gas. Within 48 hours of harvest, those hides must be chilled and placed aboard private cargo jets. A single charter flight from southern Africa to one of the few authorized tanneries runs $45,000 to $75,000. A delay of only 6 hours can turn an entire shipment valued at $2 to $3 million into waste. Ask yourself how many businesses you know that can risk millions in a 6-hour window. That is the first real price paid for rarity. At the tannery, the hides enter a chrome-free vegetable-based tanning process using a formula trusted by fewer than 8 facilities on Earth. The sequence is exacting: liming and unhairing to remove the hair, deliming and enzymatic softening to open the fiber structure. Prolonged immersion in natural tanning agents. 4 separate aniline dye baths that penetrate completely yet preserve every unique natural grain. Hand application of pure oils. And finally, a 72-hour slow drying cycle in climate-controlled rooms. This stage alone adds $400 to $650 per square foot. When the leather emerges, it is already worth 8 to 10 times the finest American calf leather most of us have ever owned. Now comes the moment that separates merely expensive leather from the truly exclusive. Every square inch is scanned by laser and examined by eye under intense light. Only 35 to 40% of each hide meets the unforgiving standard. The remaining 60 to 65%, despite the $500 already invested per square foot, is discarded without hesitation. The usable leather that survives this cut suddenly costs between $1,800 and $2,500 per square foot. Imagine throwing away 2/3 of something you just spent $500,000 to create. That is the discipline built into the price. The surviving leather is thinned to between 0.8 and 1.2 millimeters, the thickness that gives the perfect balance of suppleness and structure. Each bag is then hand-stitched using the centuries-old saddle stitch technique, 2 needles, beeswaxed linen thread, roughly 240 hours of uninterrupted labor by artisans whose annual compensation rivals that of top surgeons. Solid 18-karat gold or palladium hardware adds another $6,000 to $15,000. One finished bag, no larger than a hardcover novel, requires 4 to 6 perfect hides and up to 24 months of coordinated global supply. Total production cost, before a single dollar of profit or retail markup, falls between $100,000 and $200,000. Walk into an American boutique today and a new Impala bag is offered between $25,000 and $35,000, an increase of 6.7% for 2025 alone. On the resale market, the same pieces have appreciated more than 400% since 2019, outperforming almost every traditional investment most of us have ever held. Fewer than 15 factories worldwide possess both the skill and the trust to complete the entire sequence to the required standard. From an $18 raw hide on an African plain to an object that commands $30,000 and more on Medicine Avenue, Rodeo Drive, or Worth Avenue, every dollar and every decision has now been accounted for. The next time one of these bags is lifted, the weight in the hand is not just leather and gold. It is 48 critical hours, 72 hours of slow drying, 240 hours of stitching, and the quiet courage to discard 2/3 of the material along the way. Look closely at the grain the next time the opportunity arises. Every subtle marking is unique, unrepeatable, and earned through a chain of decisions most owners will never fully see. Rarity is not created by marketing alone. It is created by refusal to accept anything less than perfection at every single stage. The distance traveled, both in miles and in value, is now clear. An $18 raw hide has become something that appreciates faster than real estate, faster than the S&P 500 for the past 6 years, and does so while remaining useful and beautiful every day it is carried. Whether that final price feels extravagant or perfectly reasonable is, in the end, a personal judgment. But the underlying arithmetic, the uncompromising standards, and the sheer scarcity are no longer secret. The full journey from a windswept African range to the most exclusive showcases in the United States has been documented, step after step, dollar after dollar. The question left for each viewer is straightforward. Knowing exactly what it took, does the price still seem high, or does it suddenly look like one of the few remaining bargains in a world that increasingly settles for less?